down, keep it down. Quietly, man.
In the last video, part 1 of this series on stealth, I showed you just how stealthing in trees really works in both ROTWK and AOTR. In this video, I'll go over the subtle but important differences as to what invisibility proper is and just stealth itself apart from stealthing in trees, as these features can be confused quite a bit, leading to disastrous uses of special units with either mechanism. It should be noted up front that while invisibility works as it should against bots, stealth does not. In virtually every game I've ever played against AI, they always find my stealthed units. So take everything said about stealth and apply it to just PvP games. It's unfortunate for sure, but that's just what you get from a game this old. Only so much you can do. Invisibility works a little differently in both games than stealth. Rarely will any unit have this ability. The differences between invisibility and stealth is that invisibility can be used in any terrain at all, not just trees, but also an enemy cannot reveal the invisible unit by bumping into it. The unit will just move around or through the invisible unit's space. This is great for both spying and healing. However, there is an interesting caveat to this. Cavalry can crush them, but they will not remove the invisibility. But you have to listen to notice this. Listen now.
Swords! Together, knights, come! Together! Ride!
Notice also the experience gained by the cavalry unit, indicating that some of the invisible units were indeed killed, but also watch this unfortunate bug. If the invisible unit is able to heal and respawn units, the banner carrier respawned unit will reveal them for a second. Unhappily, this bug still exists in the Age of the Ring mod. Here you see Rivendell's Dunedain Rangers. At level 2, they get a cloak ability that lets them permanently remain invisible while standing still. And like the Mirkwood archers, they stay invisible when bumped into or even crushed. But, not only is the respawn effect apparent, they come out of invisibility. Hopefully this bug is addressed ASAP come the long-awaited next AOTR patch. But this invisibility bug does not always happen, as seen here. You can clearly see they remain invisible even when respawning units. But there's another odd feature linked to this bug. While you may think that these units could just be indefinitely invisible now, watch what happens. The units start to reappear of their own accord, not from moving or even a cooldown on their invisibility. Nor are they detected, neither from a power or just normal unit detection. I'll go into this more in a moment, but first, it should be noted that ROTWK's Mirkwood archers used to have this same ability in the old 9.0 days, which had existed in ROTWK for a very long time. This ability had been around long before 9.0. In those days, it had no time limit at all. In a patch after 9.0, however, This was changed so that they could remain invisible while moving, although for a limited time. Plus, they get to have bonus damage when attacking whilst in this state, although to just one target. The Mirkwood archers can also turn invisible while in the midst of a battle. You can see the enemy dwarves cannot bump into them to reveal them. ROTWK's Mirkwood archers are unique in that game as being the only non-hero unit in that game to have its own ability to turn invisible, requiring no outside source to do this for them, but they currently can only do this for a limited time duration. As we just explored in AOTR, the Dunedain Rangers for Rivendell can turn invisible, but believe it or not, they do not have a time duration by default. They can operate like the older versions of the Mirkwood Elves. And they're not alone. The special in unit, the Arthedain Sentinels, have the same ability. As you can see, they cannot be bumped into by the enemy. Given you can have as many of either one of these as you'd like, they can make for the perfect spies to gain ultimate map control. But I return to the bug explored earlier. Watch this rather odd exchange. I thought that by keeping the Dunedain in guard stance, they might remain invisible. They do not, but look as to why this is. Apparently, they come out of invisibility because they are respawning units. They remain invisible after the units spawn for a short time, then the cooldown happens. But notice that the one battalion at the top, which did not lose its units, is also the only one to remain invisible. And it will remain invisible indefinitely. Again, hopefully this odd bug will be resolved come the next patch. These are the only non-hero units in the game to operate like this. Invisibility is a truly unique feature amongst normal units. But a misleading example where some folks like myself can get confused is the Dunedain Outrider unit. Also available for Rivendell, its icon is the same image as what was just conveyed, but even apart from the explicit time limitation they have, the main difference is they can be revealed when bumped into.
Let us go.
Something I always assumed was stealth related, but actually isn't, are the Arid Luin Rangers traps. This is with players, but it works the same with AI. I tested with AI, but I don't recall bots ever using the traps. Traps are also visible when set in trees. The last thing I'll cover for normal units is Lothlorien's normal elven troops. They come with an elven cloak ability which has a thumbnail that looks exactly like some others which are for invisibility. This is for stealth though, which briefly allows them to move while stealthed. A very powerful ability for an early game unit en masse. So between this and their tree stealthing, they can move quite a bit unseen. And like with other stealth, they are only revealed when they attack or get too close to enemy units. This about covers both games on normal units, but what about heroes? In ROTWK, there is only one hero in the whole game who can turn invisible, Thranduil, but because he's so unique, I'll cover him in the next episode. But there are just a handful of heroes which can only turn truly invisible in AOTR. Pippin is pretty cool in that, like Mary for the Rohan faction, he can both stealth in trees and turn truly invisible with his elven cloak, allowing him a great deal of mobility when being unseen. He also cannot be revealed when bumped into, and he can turn invisible if he gets targeted. Of course, because he has such low health, you have to be very fast to do this, so he works great as just a spy. And because of his special ability to give experience boost to nearby heroes, you can place him covertly near battles with impunity, ranking nearby heroes up faster than your enemy, likely without him even knowing. Naturally, just like with any other unit, you can reveal any invisible unit with something as humble as the Well. A great deterrent to keep folks using Pippin, Mary, the Dunedain Rangers, or others from just sitting in your base watching you the whole game. Ring heroes for the good factions are unique in AOTR as they are Bilbo and Frodo Baggins. They have a unique ability wielding the One Ring, which allows them to be truly invisible and move. So they cannot be revealed by being bumped into or nearby enemies. As you can see, it does not necessarily have a cooldown per se. However, they have something of a time limit. If they wear the One Ring too long, boom, the Eye of Sauron reveals them. So you have to kind of take the One Ring off from time to time before that happens. A little bit of micro, but you can get it to work. And of course, they can turn invisible while in a battle. Notice you cannot target enemies or structures, though. Something really cool about Bilbo and Frodo both, they cannot be revealed by wells whilst wearing the One Ring. Quite likely the only stealth-related heroes in the game to have this advantage.
I've forgotten the handkerchief. I'm going on an adventure!
Certain other heroes' descriptions say they turn invisible, but really are just stealthed. Radagast is one of them. If he's bumped into, he can be revealed.
Let's go!
ROTWK and Arca both are weird examples of this. Being flying units, they should have no problem remaining undetected, but...
Shouldn't we have been relieved by now? Do your job, will ya?
not sure if this one is a bug or what. On the other side of the coin, other heroes can have descriptions which say they are stealthed, but operate more like they are invisible. In this case, Gorbag just has a very small detection range to uncover him, very much unlike other heroes and units. One last hero to cover here. It's a rather odd example of a hero in AOTR, which is indirectly related to stealth, Thranduil and her cat. Neither description for the cat specifies whether it's invisible or in stealth, but you can see it's flickering like it's in either one. But it can be detected if it's too close to the enemy. thing. This just about covers the differences between stealth and invisibility in ROTWK and AOTR for both normal units and heroes. As you can see, there are many more opportunities for stealth and invisibility in AOTR than in the vanilla games for just what I've shown here, and this isn't everything. To sum up the differences between stealth and invisibility, stealth proper is always very temporary and limited, allowing those units to be detected when bumping into enemies or when they get too close, and invisibility proper is typically indefinite and keeps your units from being detected by enemies in close range. Next episode, I'll cover why ROTWK's Thranduil is such a unique hero, and not just ROTWK, but even compared to the heroes in AOTR, and I'll take a brief look at some of the similar hero powers for stealth in AOTR based off of his abilities.